Let's start that over. Let's go, you guys. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the latest episode of Making the Case for Your Lawyer Dreams. I'm so excited to have you guys here. Episode 104. Make sure you go to YouTube and subscribe, like to our YouTube channel at Becoming JD. We're so excited to have you here. Understand? I know this journey is hard. I know you're tired. But fam, good things come to those who work, not to those who wait. You had that dream for a reason, fam. Now it's time to walk in your purpose. Stand 10 toes. It's a marathon, not a sprint. So I'm excited to be able to have you guys here. My name is Anthony, founder of Becoming JD, where we give you guys nothing but peace and blessings to help you navigate your lawyer journey. Because we want you to win. We need you to win. We need you to break through and overcome your challenges. Every Wednesday, we have guests come on from all over the country. Lawyers, admissions directors, and tonight, judges, to share their journey to becoming an attorney, to becoming a judge, to rocking a robe. Now, one of the questions I love asking you guys is, how old were you first met a lawyer? Better yet, how old were you when you first met a judge? Well, tonight you get an opportunity to meet an iconic judge who wants to share her story, who wants to see you win, who wants to see you navigate your journey. Listen, even in the word impossible, it says, I'm possible. So, let's work, you guys. Of course, I'm holding down in St. Louis, Missouri. It's not the place where I want to be. It's the place where God has me. Fill up our chat box. Let us know where you're viewing our session from. I see you in the house, Illinois. I see you in the house, Atlanta, Georgia. So fill our chat box up. This space is for you. We got food booth for us, by us. Becoming JD space is for you. To get the answers that you need to get answered. To get the direction that you need. To get the security to know that it may be hard, but you can do it. We got New York in the house. Bless you. So, fill our chat box up with questions. Don't be shy. When we get the judge on, I want you guys asking questions. Because she's excited to talk to you guys. It's not about you giving up. It's about you growing up. I'm going to say that again. It's not about you giving up. It's about you growing up. So fill our chat box up with questions. We got my boy South Carolina in the house, my second home. BB Watts, thank you for joining us. Saran, thank you for joining us. I'm so excited to have you guys here. The judge, she is from Georgia. I'm not going to sing anymore. But nevertheless, feel free to bring your questions. I want you guys to navigate and overcome your journeys. I want you guys to understand the blueprints of success. She's about to drop her blueprint. And if it ain't broke, follow it. Execute it. Because she broke through and became a unicorn. And we want you guys to break through and become unicorns too, right? So we got her on. We're going to go ahead and get her to join. And don't be shy. We want you guys to ask questions too. All right? So I'm Delva. Hello, I'm Delva. Hello, Amani. Hello, B. Watts. As our room fills up, we already sent out an invitation to Judge Sonny Mullins. And we guys are going to jump into it and ask questions. So make sure you fill our chat box up. If you've waited to hear back from law schools, they've been ghosts, ask a question. You're struggling with the bar, want some help, ask a question in the chat. Trying to transfer schools, ask questions in the chat. Haven't heard anything from schools, got a lot of rejections, put the questions in the chat. We want to make sure that you come away from our sessions fed with a clear message of what you are about to do next. You heard me? Because at the end of the day, you did not have that dream just to have that dream. You had that dream to serve a purpose. And so I want to make sure that you have a very clear message in regards to what you're going to do next. Okay? Okay, so we sent an invitation out. We're going to get her on. I just got through speaking to her. Judge Sonny, you may have to join through your phone as opposed to your computer. But nevertheless, this is going to give me some space to be able to address some things. If in fact you have not heard from law schools right now, it may be a good time for you to either one, pivot and find some other schools, schedule an informational interview to find out the status of schools. But thirdly and most importantly, what you cannot do right now, fam, what's going on, right, Maya, is you cannot wait. Okay, we're not about to sit here and defer to other schools, defer another year. I know right now we just received a notification and we posted in our stories that the Pre-Law Summer Institute, CLEO, which has been running since 1964, they have extended their deadline to accepting students into their program to April 10th. So that means that if in fact you have not heard anything from law schools, fam, you need to go to cleoinc.org/PLSI. Someone could put that in the chat. That would be amazing. So that way you guys have an opportunity for you guys to make sure you go to law school. How we doing, Judge?
We are wonderful. A little technically inept, apparently. So hopefully you guys are on my phone. I hope you can hear me loud and clear. I tried from the desktop, but we won't even worry about that. So, anywho, how are you this evening?
I am blessed. I'm excited to have this opportunity to speak with you. I know that we've been going back and forth, and I'm just so happy because I think oftentimes we've spoke about it before. You know, people see judges just like they see lawyers, but they often don't get an opportunity to ever talk to them. And so this is an opportunity for people to be able to see a judge who looks like them, who's moving like they want to move, and figure out how does she do it. So I'll give you the floor first to give your formal introduction. We talking Minnesota, we talking about Georgia, and we're gonna talk about how they come into play.
Well, good evening, everyone. I really appreciate the invite, and I'm always willing and always hoping and able to be able to lend an ear, lend a hand, give advice. Um, My name currently is Judge Sonny Mullins, and I wear that proudly. But prior to becoming a judge, I was just like everybody else. I was trying to figure it out, make it work. I had goals. Those goals never ended. And even when I accomplished one, I realized, oh, I just at the bottom of another goal that I was trying to accomplish. Um, I'm very, very prideful on being a judge. At the age of even when I was in law school, judges didn't look like me.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
to go into an environment where I know that someone looks like me, looks like a relative of mine, looks like my son, looks like my daughters, that makes all the difference for me. Law school, I went to law school in Minnesota, did undergrad down here in Georgia. My first winter back, I said, what am I thinking and why am I here? But I was on my flight on the way back to Atlanta after visiting home in Minnesota, and the first tower fell.
Oh
So
wow.
something, and I left home at 17 to come down to Clark, Atlanta. So something said, it's time to go back home. So I went back home and did law school at home. That first winter let me know that, oh, this won't last. Every summer I did an intern down in Georgia at the PD's office. So it was an experience to be had. Even in law school, they didn't look like us. So it was something that was completely different. I wouldn't change it for the world. It was the most difficult thing I had ever done in my life to that point. However, it was the most rewarding and most successful thing that I have had ever done when you compile it all together. It was extremely challenging. I think in my life, education came easy. Learning and knowledge came really easy. I was at the top of my game in everything I did, even athletically. I got to law school and I'm like, I am struggling to get a C. Oh, this is humbling. And I'm living in the law library and everybody else wasn't doing the same thing. And I'm like, is it me? So for the first time, I think in my life, I felt like, ooh, did I make the right decision? Am I worthy? Am I supposed to be here?
Yeah.
And you're spoiled coming from an HBCU, going to a PWI law school. Ooh, wait. That's all I have to say. It was challenging. Again, there are no mistakes in my life. I live my life by God's timing. So I embrace every challenge. Every lesson has become a blessing. I've
Ooh.
accepted it as such and turned it into as much that I could. Um, every scar I got, I wouldn't change them for the world.
Oh, that's
So
beautiful.
It is
Now, as
something
a
that,
fellow AUC grad myself, I think the thing that's amazing is so many people can relate to that, right? Because I mean, just think about it. I think honestly, like on this journey initially, we really had bad study habits. We really didn't have to apply ourselves. We really kind of, you know, barely had the foot on the gas pedal.
yeah.
And then law school happens, and it's like, I got to make changes.
Hmm.
And one of the questions I always ask, I'm going to show my grades when I ask this, but is we don't do this hard stuff and make these sacrifices and get these reality checks if it's not something that I always ask, when did we fall in love with law? You know, like our love Jones, right?
Hmm.
No, brown sugar. So when did you realize this is something that you were willing to make those sacrifices for? Because we could have done something easier. You could have done something easier, but you're like, nah, I'm a rock with this.
So I became a practicing attorney in law school. I practiced as a student. So the law clinics saved
Mm-hmm.
me, but they changed me immensely. I was going to school, I was going to be a sports agent, that's it.
Me
And
too.
that was my route. I had a professor I either love to hate or hate to love. I can't figure it out. But all of a sudden, this little flag started flying out of my collar. And so I did something called the LAMP Clinic. So it was legal assistance to Minnesota prisoners. So I went into the male prisons and the women prisons and I represented them civil in all of their civil matters. So where I knew I fell in love with the law, I was 8 months pregnant in front of our Minnesota Supreme Court arguing a petition case for an inmate who was my client. And it was amazing. The high, the energy, everything that came at me at that moment. I was like, oh, forget contracts. I'm going to be a litigation attorney. Like I had a courtroom kit. It was just like I would open up my briefcase and pull out my pearls, throw my hair up in a bun. But to be in that moment arguing for somebody else who couldn't, they didn't have a voice,
Right.
and to know that I was going to be his voice. And literally, it was such an experience that I stayed high for a week. I was like, oh, I know this baby's might even come early. She came 2 weeks late, so she definitely did not come early. But it was such an experience that was a defining moment for me. I tried to tuck that cape in. I was like, no, no. Even when I go to speak to students today, I just did a tour of career days here locally in our county, and
Mm-hmm.
I brought my robe and I was like, no, this is my super cape. I'm a superhero on a different level. So for me, that was my defining moment. I think all of us, you should have multiple defining moments
Yeah.
because it's rare that you follow this traditional path and stay on it. Like bumps are there for a reason. They are to throw you off course for a very specific reason, and it might be to launch you in another stratosphere. So that's how I received all the bumps and the bruises. Okay, wasn't it? Let me pivot here. I'm really good at pivoting. So you fall down 10 times, I'm going to get up 11. So for me, every pivot that I had to make was with intent, and it was purposeful and full of passion. And to be able to wear that robe, it was a process to get there. I've been practicing for over 20 years. So I guess there was a point in my life where I just didn't. I was like, oh, that's not my calling. That's not my place. It's not going to happen. First off, because I'm a solo practitioner, I have a boutique law firm. So coming out of law school, I went to William Mitchell College of Law, which is now Hamlin Mitchell, but it was Billy Mitchell back then in St. Paul, Minnesota. And everybody was graduating like, oh, I'm going to clerk for this person, I'm going to clerk there. And remember, I was on that mission to become a sports agent, so I was like, "Man, I'm not going to clerk, I don't need that." So to end up having my path the way it was, and to still end up on the bench and to have an impact that I have every single day, I wouldn't trade it for the world.
And for you guys who just joined us, we're live in full effect with Judge Sonny Mullins, who's literally dropping gems. I think one of the things I feel like is so important, and I bet you've had to be able to even give people a reality check. Like people have this presumption that this journey is easy. They have this presumption, oh well, she's a judge, so she didn't have it hard. But the thing that's amazing, and one of the reasons why we do this show is I want people to normalize the struggle so they realize when they're facing it, oh, it's just a part of the growth process. It's just
Absolutely.
a step in that direction. And I feel like for us, a lot of times, we have to go through that humbling process in order for us to grow.
Absolutely.
And
I
so, one of the,
think,
go ahead.
go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
I think I have a gift and a curse of making things look really easy.
Yeah.
Um, but I only know how to go hard. I don't I don't know if I don't glorify struggle.
Yeah.
Struggle is natural. It's something you go through. I left an HBCU and I went to a law school where nobody looked like me, where we had a multicultural office that I was like, I just need a nap. I just need someone to embrace. And then for it to be African American students was even more rare. So it was like, okay, I'm with minorities, but they didn't come from the south side of
Right.
Minneapolis
Right.
that I came from. They weren't from Swats, Atlanta. So it was still, even within that office, I still had to find another space and create another space within that. But I'm grateful for having those spaces. But yeah, I think as a people, we tend to glorify struggle. We ride or dies. We do all that. Sometimes I just don't want to have to ride or die. An easy path would be nice, but I think your mindset, even if it was a difficult path, I don't harp on it being difficult. I'm not a victim Olympian. So
I
if
love
I'm
it.
in something hard, I'm gonna be in hard, but I'm a thug it out to
I
the end.
love it.
So and that's why I say it's a blessing and a curse because outsiders tend to think, oh, she has it easy. It came so easy to her. No, it didn't. I went to school. My middle sister is 2 years older than me. I took all AP courses. I was in her classes. She never showed up to class. She killed off every relative we ever had. Oh, somebody died. And I was like, oh, I'm still here. I got to get perfect attendance because I needed perfect attendance to not have to take that final exam. Whatever edge I could get studying, I think you said it early on. I didn't know how to study. Nobody taught me how to study. I had to teach myself in law school what study, and I had to learn. I'm gonna read it, write it, say it. When I took the bar exam, and I didn't take one bar exam, I took multiple states. The walls were covered in color coordinated mnemonics. I had family law broken down into 4 letters. So, and then 18 subletters. So I had to learn how I needed to study and how I needed to be successful. And that was something nobody taught me.
Mm.
I had to figure that out on my own. And so I tried to teach my children or learn first off how they study best. Are they a read it, write it, say it? Are they a visual learner? Are they an action learner? And then try to apply with what I'm learning, how they learn, if that makes sense. But
Oh, it makes perfect sense. And one of the things I always love asking is, especially one of the things I jokingly say, but also very serious about, is I oftentimes feel like, we limit our options and opportunities in life because we choose to stay in our comfort zone.
yes,
I mean, you went from an HBCU, and let's keep it a buck, man. Atlanta is nice, it's comfortable, and you went to a PWI for law school. Now, of course, it was still home, but I have a lot of students out there who are unfortunately hurting their lawyer dreams because if it's not chocolate cities, Houston, Atlanta, Vegas, Dallas, or other black chocolate cities, or if it's not an HBCU, they're not going. What advice would you give to them to be able to consider these PWI law schools, and what should they look for? Because we are a minority. However, there are great law schools out there that can provide you that support, even though you may still be one of few.
if I had to do it all over again, I would still choose a PWI. Do you know
Right.
why? The laws are not made to help and cater and coddle black women and black men. So I would be in class judged as the angry black woman, but that I had to let everybody know my ride into law school today was different than yours. I've got stopped just driving while black. the law affected me differently, so my responses to learning the law was completely different and probably came across as slightly angry. I came from an HBCU where black everything, and so I had to teach then 36 other people around me, you're not affected the same way. When you're stopped by a police officer, you have a different experience than I have. So I didn't want to handicap myself and have the protection of an HBCU for law school because I knew I would not get that in reality.
Mm.
The judges didn't look like me. When I was sworn in, I just remember just thinking, wow, I know a judge. I am a
Yeah,
judge.
right.
Like, what? This is weird. My family was like, we got a judge in the family. And I was like, I know. I didn't have that, especially in Minnesota. I didn't have that. When I got pulled over in Atlanta, I wasn't pulled over by black cops. So it was like we could still be in the protected chocolate city and still get reminded of your color daily.
You're right. You're right.
So I wanted an experience that would help me master the world,
Hmm.
not just master one city. So that's why I chose William Mitchell.
Which is an amazing school, and their commitment to diversity is something that's unprecedented. They've really shown a huge commitment to it. They figure if they get you out there, get you in them walls,
Yeah,
and they give you the support that you need,
they do.
you'll never leave. I know I have like 4 students over there now. But one of the other questions I love asking, I know we're gonna go over a range of different topics, but I want us to go in the time machine. I want you to take us back to when you were studying for the bar.
Hmm.
What was that process like? And where were you? And put us in your shoes/heels when you found out that you passed. Both of the bars.
The bars, that's a different beast. I think, what did we have? What's the Barbary?
Mm-hmm.
That's what we had then. So I graduated in May or early June. Then immediately you started every day class, 8 hours a day in somebody else's community college locally, then to take the end of July exam. I told you my walls, it looked like wallpaper. It was the huge sticky pads. They were color coordinated, highlighted. That was how my mind worked. So that's how I would remember a subject. I didn't pass my first bar exam. And so one thing I remember, a tutor, after that I got a professor who tutored me. And one thing I learned in that moment was this exam has nothing to do with you practicing law, and it damn sure has nothing to do with the type of attorney you're going to become, or if you'll become a judge. So for me, I was like, oh my God, like I can't be defeated by this exam. Like I had my daughter, she came January 15th of 2005, and I graduated June of 2005. So I'm a new mom. I'm bringing her into school with me every single day until graduation. And then I'm trying to study. But I had an amazing community around me. So I was able to do that. And I was able to work studying like it was a full time job. And I cannot tell you anything I did from the exam I failed to the exam I passed. There was nothing different that I did. That's the number one question I get. Well, how did you pass? I did nothing differently. It just was my time.
Mm.
And I gave the same effort. I studied the same way. I had the same not the same actual mnemonics, but the same concept for studying for the time that I passed that bar exam. And when I was so scared to open up that email, I was like, "Ooh, Lord, I'm just gonna fail again. This is not me." And I opened it up and I lost my breath. I couldn't even scream. I couldn't exhale. When I watch, I wish we had social media then. When I watch families and mothers or fathers and their children around and they get that email and they see it and they scream, I cry every time because I remember it like yesterday.
And I think the amazing thing about it, so I always ask all of our guests this question, is it's like it's a manifestation. It's a manifestation of all the hard work and the sacrifice. I think the beautiful thing about the experience is when you pass the bar, when you get sworn in, although your name is on it, it's so many people that were involved in that process. And it's almost as if you're doing it as a you're standing here being sworn in, but it's not if it wasn't for their sacrifice, if it wasn't for their commitment, it would not be you standing here.
I always tell everyone I got my degree for the whole South Side of Minneapolis. So I was like, no, this was a work of a community, and I did it for the community. Um, so yeah, and to this day, as a black female judge, I stand on the shoulders of every single female, black female, minority female who came before me. My mentor, my chief judge, I give her all the praise. She is amazing. So without their sacrifice, I wouldn't be who I am and where I am today.
And I want you guys also to be able to understand that on this journey, you have to swallow your pride. You have to. There's so many people out there waiting to help you, waiting to provide support for you. They come in all different shapes, sizes, and colors. Please do not miss out on your blessings. We have social media, we have these platforms now. And I'm going to say something that may sound offensive, Judge, but I'm going to say it anyway. We don't just use it to find out what's going on the shade room or about Offset being shot. Utilize it as a platform to be able to reach out and build relationships and build networks. If you're struggling on things, reach out to lawyers, judges to be able to get that support. We don't being on this journey alone is no longer an option that you have to settle for. And what the judge has talked about here, she had a whole entire community. You have an entire community that's all wanting to see you win. Just we know how it goes when she go in court. We count the numbers. We be like, oh, okay, all right. We want you guys to win. We want to see you guys move in those spaces. And Judge, have you ever cursed out or gone off on anybody that reached out to you on social media before?
Never. It I commend someone who tries.
Mm.
You better say everything you need to say to get somebody's attention. If you're truly seeking help, if you're just seeking attention, you'll get blocked and ignored. But if you're seeking help, I, again, when I graduated law school, I think we had Black Planet down there without dating
Oh, I
myself,
at the
but
college club.
right. So there wasn't a place or an ability to reach out to people. You had to hit the pavement to network. You had to hit environments or join every club. Social aspect, first hit first Fridays. You had to get out there to be introduced to somebody. I remember I was sitting at registration for law school and everybody was like, oh, standing up telling their story. I've dreamt about this. Oh, my father's a judge, my mother. I was thinking, I got some family members that need an attorney. Does that count? But other than that, I was I was not the person that they were like, "Oh, you're going to be an attorney and then a judge one day." So lean in and look, use these resources. I commend you for even offering a platform. I wish I could go to all the law schools and say, "Hey, it's not easy, but don't give up. Anything worth having is going to come at you hard as hell,
Can
but
you
it is worth it.
for the people in the back?
Anything worth having is going to come at you hard as hell. It is. If it's easy, stay away from it or be weary about it. It's like that's not going to last long. Easy doesn't last long. So I'm a hard worker. Again, I do make things look easy, but they're not. I just have an amazing community, an amazing spouse, amazing children that are able to embrace me and they know and recognize what I do. And when I need time to just exhale or woo-saw. But yeah, I have no complaints about it. I love what I do. I didn't even think, now, if people follow me on social media, I've just thrown my hat into a political race so that I can judge on a different level and judge full time. I work 24/7 now. If this phone rings, I got to put y'all on mute because I got to do a warrant. But to be able to get on that bench and have it full time and do it full time, I cannot wait, and I know it's happening. Election is May 19th. Early voting is April 27th through May 15th here in Rockdale County. So if we have anybody on here, elect Judge Sonny Mullins for your state court judge. I will be the first African American female state court judge. So I'll
So you
take
really
being the first.
got to speak it into action.
Absolutely.
And so one of the things I want to definitely ask into you is just like it's so surreal where you first spend, I feel like we spend almost like 20, 30 years of our life just getting to this point. And then it's just like, okay, now I'm a lawyer. Now I'm practicing. When did the seeds of wanting to become a judge, when did that itch come from?
It never died. It was always
Or
burning
oh,
inside. It was just opportunity. And somebody said, and I was like, say what? What did you say? You talking to me? And before they could even finish handing me the information, I was already on the website, filling out the application, preparing for the interview, sitting in the courtroom, observing the judge who I was then going to interview with so that I could see. I don't want to waste her time or my time. Is this something that is a match for me? Well, can I do this? Will I do it? Will I represent anybody well, let alone my family, my husband, my community, her when she hires me? Will I represent her well? So it was something, it wasn't just a quick snap decision that I was just going to jump into. This was God's timing. That's all I could say.
you dropped a detail that I think a lot of people, Judge, aren't even really familiar with. And so, what is that process like becoming a judge? Because you talked about an interview. So, educate them a little bit about what that process is like to become a judge initially.
So my process, I was appointed. So there was a job opening for a vacant judge position and as associate magistrate judge. And I filled out the application, stalked the email, harassed her a little bit. And when I received the email for a confirmation of a time, I was like, oh, this is mine. And even prior to receiving that email, I went and sat in the back of her courtroom. I wanted to know what I was getting myself into. I wanted to prepare myself for it. Again, I didn't clerk, so I didn't have that traditional path. I had criminal and civil experience, I had litigation experience, but no clerking experience. So I didn't want to make a fool of myself, and I didn't want to waste her time. So that was something that I did. Applied, went at it like a 24-year-old that just graduated undergrad and you knew you was competing with other 5,000 other people for the same position. That's how I went after this and named it and claimed it, and it became mine. And I have zero regrets ever since. And I didn't want to change or leave that. I could see myself doing this position until I retired. And then the law came knocking on my door and called me yet again. And so here I am, a whole political candidate.
Oh my goodness.
So, yeah, and that's a different process. That is extremely humbling, extremely rewarding, all at the same time. I am not a politician, but I am a public servant.
Right.
And so Malcolm said it best. We didn't land on Plymouth Rock, Plymouth Rock landed on us. I did not seek the bench found me. And again, and knowing what comes with that responsibility, I'm going to go all out. I'm going to, it's all gas, no brakes. That's the nice way to say
I,
that.
and let's keep it a buck, right? Like that's consistent with the path that you've done towards everything else.
Yeah.
For you guys out there, understand, ain't nobody gifting you nothing on this journey. So it's always has to be all gas, no brakes. Because one of the things I always tell them, Judge, I said, whatever you won't do, somebody else will.
Say that again for the people in the
Okay.
back.
Whatever you won't do, somebody else will. Because I think one of the things, Judge, is just like oftentimes because we've been blessed to have things easier so early in our life that we just want things to go back that way. And the thing is, as you ascend higher, it's never going to go back that way.
Absolutely.
And that's just a thing that you have to accept. Now, one of the things I wanted to talk to you about too, and this may be different, but judge life is a whole lot different than attorney life in regards
Yes.
to how you move. I mean, you got eyes on you. How is life as a judge? Because I think people oftentimes people see the judge, but they don't see him out.
For me, I definitely was not outside. When I became a judge, I would not drink in public. I would not drink and drive. I would not. When I work so closely with doing warrants, I know what police officers' habits are. So I made sure everybody's like, "Oh, you're a judge. I bet you speed. I bet you do." Nope, I'm 10 and 2. I pay extra attention. I'm super legal. That's just because I'm not trying to get trapped in anything. I tell my children, do not, if you get pulled over, do not tell them your mom's a judge. That's the last thing you want to let them know. Do not think that's a good card. That's not a get out of jail free card. So if I'm that way as a judge, I would think as a citizen that you would be more apt to be like, yeah, see, the judge ain't doing it, so therefore I shouldn't do it. So to me, it was safer to be inside and to remain inside and mind my business. We have a farm, so we have some space and some land. We're not constantly on top of each other or in each other's way. We both have hectic careers. My husband is a 21-year firefighter. He is a battalion chief for the city of Atlanta. So we have careers that when we get home, it's like safe. We're here. We made it, right? It's our peaceful space. And I love that and embrace that. However, throwing your hat into the political arena, everybody's like, well, you might be great, but we don't know you. And I'm like, oh, dang, okay. So now I have to be outside, and it is a 24-hour job of getting your county or the world to know you for you and not just your face on a sign or not a rumor or not a track record. Know me, know who I am, and know whether I'm a good option for you.
And what
So
what has that process been like? Because it's like almost to a degree, like you have had to be in a form of seclusion where you had your family, stay out of my business. I'll see y'all in court. To now, literally having you got your head on the swivel now, Judge.
I do. I do, but I must be in Rockdale is exceptional. Literally, I have my community has grown immensely in this small amount of time. I haven't been campaigning for a year. This literally started at the end of January, and May 19th is election day. So it is a short process, but as I stated earlier, it's very humbling, but it's also rewarding. So you get to see the people and the people get to see you. I want the constituents here in the county to know I'm a real person.
Yeah,
I just have a different job and a different superpower, but I'm an everyday person. I got chickens, I got animals. They need attention, they need feed, they need food. I got to take care of them and children and a husband, and then still be able to relate to the people that come in front of me. So I don't get to say, oh, I don't want that case today. It's not like an attorney. You get to choose your client as an attorney. The attorneys and the people who come in front of you, you have no choice. They're coming in front of you because you have jurisdiction over whatever their need and their issue is. So it's being able to relate to them and show them when you come to court, you will get a fair and a just experience. You will get respect. You will have a judge who listens to you because she's just like you.
yeah,
So I think that it to lessen the fear, I think a lot of people just come into court and they're like, you
yeah,
freeze up. You
yeah.
know, you didn't do anything wrong. It could be a speeding ticket, but I've never seen anybody comfortable in court. So, and it's not that I want someone to be comfortable. I don't want you to be afraid, but know that the law is going to respect you, but you also have to respect the law.
That's deep, Judge. Now, one of the things I remember we had another judge talk about, like you strange interactions or the craziest experience. I know she talked about Judge Ashley in North Carolina. She talked about an experience where she had to have security call because somebody was stalking her at Blockbuster, or like crazy experience. Because think about it, like people know you, but you don't know them. Has there ever been
Mhm.
crazy experiences like that with you?
No, I've been fortunate enough not to
Thank God.
experience that. Yes, but people have come up to me in the grocery store like, "I didn't win my case, but you respected me, and I
Wow,
thank
that's
you." Or "I thank you, you helped my son. I really appreciate." That has happened, but I think social media has allowed people to see different versions of whomever they're researching. I'm a bodybuilder. My husband's a firefighter and a bodybuilder. We're not small people. So we're not so easily to walk up on somewhere and be like, hey, you did or da da da. No, I don't. I get lots of respect. And I'm not in the city of Atlanta. I'm in a metropolitan city. Rockdale is small, but it's not that small. We're not totally country, but they know respect. And I
So
don't,
that is, y'all want these problems.
yeah, they don't.
But
No.
I think also outside of that, though, I'm sure there's been some other rewarding experiences. I just think about the young little girls at the schools that you've gone to. You know, it's one thing to see Katanji Justice Jackson on TV, but to be able to have you go into schools, how? Tell me about that experience, or even the high school students. I'm sure there has been a rewarding experience of seeing the awe, the shock, and you're just I'm a regular person, but to you, you're a unicorn, Judge.
Immensely rewarding. I think most of them, the younger kids, they don't necessarily know
Right.
what that is. Oh, you're a judge? I was like, well, do you know what a judge is and what a judge does? We like Judge Joe Brown and Judge Judy. I'm like, well, yeah, but this is not the TV version. This is more real life. And to see them light up and to see how it's possible for them. You know, we have a law camp once a year, and to be able to say, hey, come and try it out. You might think you don't like the law, but just come and try it. You don't know what you don't like until you've tried it,
Yeah.
right? And so that to see them light up in that aspect, I'll take that all day long. Um, but also, what I've been doing on the campaign trail is educating people. I think if more people understood, you're going to get a speeding ticket one day naturally. New drivers, you're going to do it. You might be a college student and get a little too ego filled to where you're going to drink and drive. So you're going to get stopped possibly. But to know that you have an option to decide and choose the person you may one day go in front of, that's empowering.
Hmm.
I
That's
never was taught that, never knew that. Like, what? One day I might have to defend a ticket. And I actually could say that that's the judge I voted for because I liked her ethics, because I liked how she listened, because she respects me as a human. That the power in that alone, to me, I'm like, I wish more people understood that.
yeah, yeah. And I think the thing that's amazing about it is it's like realizing that at the end of the day, you have the power to change your life, just like you have the power to change the impact of your life based off of who you vote to.
Mhm.
And it's making the decision to be in the driver's seat and not to be in the passenger seat. I think like just in sharing and hearing your story, it's just like at some particular point you made the decision, you know, it's gonna be hard. I bet. So I'm gonna be in control of what's gonna happen next. And one of the things that I love doing on our show, I know it's Wednesday. I'm from the South. I'm from Nashville. You know, Wednesday's normally Bible study. I want to give you an opportunity to give a word of encouragement because, as you know, Judge, on this journey, even where you are now, there's ups and there's lots of downs. And, you know, oftentimes, you know, it gets hard. And there are times where other people have been thinking about giving up. That could be from the bar, that could be in practice, that could be our young pre law students, or even people that's currently practicing law now. And I always love to give you guys the floor to give a word of encouragement because we all need our cup filled up a little bit sometimes.
Absolutely. I think I have two really good gems to give. One, and it's just the old adage of watch who you tell your dreams because that gives somebody the opportunity to shoot your dream down. And it's not that you aren't able or capable of that dream, that's them putting their fear on you. So keep what you want to do, move in the quiet, and then just bust out in the dark or out from the dark, like, look what I did. Because otherwise, people will put what their limitations and inabilities are onto you. And the second gem that I would offer is the word no means nothing to me. It really just means not yet. So if someone tells you no, okay, it was just a matter of timing, or it was just the way you asked, or it's something else, but no, that doesn't mean anything to me. It just means not yet. Oh, okay, I'm gonna come back. I'm gonna tighten up on my game and then I'm gonna come back again. So that for me, I've kept that forever and lean in on it. Surround yourself with like-minded people. If you recognize you have a weakness in studying, but there's somebody at law school that they're studying, they might have a better habit, align yourself with them. That energy is going to naturally flow from them to you. You might learn something. Like you said, humble yourself, put your ego to the side. You might have been that top dog in undergrad. Law school will humble you. So allow it to embrace that humble, embrace that struggle, and then move forward appropriately from that point. So that's it. You can do anything you want. If you can hold it, you can see it in your head, in your mind, you can hold it in your hand.
And you're proof.
Yeah. Whew.
Proof from Minnesota to CAU, back to Minnesota, that had to come back down to the South. Now, I got to ask this question. It's random, but I just want to know. I know we got our soul food down south. What the food like up in Minnesota when you go back home? They got soul food up there or what?
We have we have so much food. We do. Food is amazing up north. I will say that. We have great arts and we have great food. We have a Juicy Lucy burger that got that cheese that's melted on the inside. Um, so yeah, there's just if you got a nice versatile palate, we have some amazing food up there. Not enough to make me move back or live there though.
Because Minnesota summers are beautiful.
Oh yeah, those 3 months are great. The other nine,
And I'll say this as a way, but those other 9, if you need to be in law school and you need to be studying, what better environment to be in? Because law school is not about comfort, it's about discipline and focus.
yes, and you're not missing you. You don't want to know what's going on outside. It's too cold. So outside isn't an option. It's nobody cares. So yes, I would say go to a law school somewhere that there's nothing going on. And don't make any major life decisions while you're in law school because you have tunnel vision.
Yeah.
Stick to that. If someone proposes, say not yet. Just let me, it's only 3 years. Don't make any life, I'm telling you, you really have tunnel vision and you're focused and no you don't realize how hyper focused you are until it's all over and then you're like wow. So that would probably be the last piece of advice I would give.
And you guys, y'all should listen to the judge. She does officiate weddings too, you guys. So,
I do free weddings once a month, Rockdale County. It doesn't matter what county that you come from, I can get you married for free
but if you are in law school, she said that you should wait
to
until.
make life-changing decisions. Yes.
But Judge, I want to thank you for taking the time to come on to our show. For you guys off there, I hope this was a life-changing experience. It definitely was for me. Sis, I'm wishing you nothing but love and support in your upcoming election. You know, I'll be blasting your stuff in our stories. You are the unicorn, and you are the manifestation not only of your dreams, but so many other young girls who now, by seeing you, hearing you, and also joining us today, get an opportunity to see somebody do what they can do too.
Thank you. I am beyond honored for all of that. I appreciate it. And if anybody wants to reach out, don't hesitate. DM, ask a question. Closed mouth doesn't get fed.
What she said, peace and blessings out there, you guys. You guys continue to fight for your lawyer dreams. We're praying for you, rooting for you, and we want to see you win. But you have to want it too. Peace and blessings. Take care. Thanks, Judge.
Thank you.